Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness, and we're doing a lighting tutorial today at my electrical test lab at Spectacle Island, which is where I come to figure out, electrical stuff. I don't have an actual settlement here, so I just built a big flat space to figure out things like, there's M-conators, lock build, there's my Mark II combination lock build, which you have to enter the combination in the right order for the door to open, along with where I figured out my animation for my animated dance floor over at Egret Tours. But what are we doing today besides bragging? Well, actually, I'm going to keep bragging because I am fairly sure that you have not seen a lighting tutorial like this one. They had a bunch of videos on YouTube, and it was always just, if you want to have switch lights, make sure you don't have another power source nearby. And, I say fiddlesticks to that, because check this out. See that? That light is built straight onto the power pylon. I did that to drive the point home of what this tutorial is all about. Now, I'm about to go on a little bit of a rant to explain why I think that we should be able to do this kind of stuff, and if you're not interested in that, I'll put an annotation there to skip straight to how the heck to do this. So, why do I even care whether or not we can turn on a light with, or turn off a light with a switch? Well, it's because of really what you can see going on here. This here is really a settlement in miniature. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos on Fallout 4 builds, this here is what most people are doing. They surround a place with a wall, they set up some defenses on the outside with some turrets and some guard stations, and then inside they'll have some stores. This one's out of the new patch, and I really don't like it very much. I think that lettering is ugly, and I need to figure out how to cover that up. But a couple of shacks that are prefabs in this case, and with some beds, and that's it. That's what most people's Fallout 4 settlement is, just on a much grander scale than what we've got here. And I do it myself. I do it on a lot of my settlements. And when I build something like this, what I like to do is I like to have all my generators in one spot, because it makes it easy to check them and make sure that they weren't damaged in an attack or anything. It also means that what I like to do is daisy chain the generators together and then run them through a single master switch and then up to a pylon, and then just go and take pylons and conduits and just completely surround the settlement. Nice thing about that is that I have power available pretty much anywhere, both to wire directly to turrets and also radiant power for lights that I want to be on all the time. Other nice thing about it is that if I've got, say, a pet Deathclaw and a beta wave emitter, if I accidentally screw up and disconnect one wire, I haven't gone and made it so I either have to kill my Deathclaw or load a new save. So it's nice from just an error prevention kind of standpoint. The downside to it is that you can't turn off your lights, and I have said many times that I think that lights on in the daytime looks dumb. You probably won't be able to see it here, just a little bit. You know, in the daytime, there's strong sunlight that comes through here and kind of makes these cool dappled shadows, and at sunset there's pretty colors, and you lose all that detail if your lights are on in the daytime. The other thing is that from a role play standpoint, if you've got a gasoline powered generator like this one, and that's clearly a gasoline powered generator. If you've got something like that and your fuel supply was limited, for example, you would want to turn off as many lights as you could whenever you could to try and save fuel, because your fuel supply is going to be limited. Other thing is that I don't know about you, but like, I don't sleep with all the lights on in my whole house. And although the settlers in game, the AI doesn't care, I like to at least pretend that they could turn the lights off when they go to bed. And it's just all part of trying to make a settlement look and feel more realistic, because in the real world, you can turn off your lights when you want to and turn them on when you want to. So, end of rant. That's why I think that being able to do something like this is useful for builders who are looking to have a settlement that really is more realistic than some of the other things that we see out there. What I'm going to show you here is there's a lot of different ways to pull it off that I have found, but what I'm going to show you is the one that will work in every situation and in any settlement. Doesn't take any mods, and once you do it 2 or 3 times, it's going to become foolproof and you'll be able to step through it really quickly. So what we're going to do is, the first time what we're going to do is we're going to assign this light and that light. Actually, that light's already assigned to the switch, so fine. We're just going to assign this light to that switch. In fact, why don't I go ahead and deliberately break this one? Come on. For some reason, it takes a while to get in the build mode. So there we go. That light is now not controlled by that switch anymore. So you see that? So we're going to put all 3 of these lights on that switch. And the first step is to make sure that the switch is on. Second step is to turn off the master switch for the settlement, or if you haven't set it up that way, just disconnect any power that's anywhere close to where you're working. The next step is to remove the wire that's the source power for your switch. You want to leave any conduits that you're using to radiate power in place. And next thing, I just use this terminal because it's easy to wire glitch. It's right at head height. And if you don't know how to wire glitch, I've showed it off a couple of times, but Dark Dally did probably the best video that I saw on it. I'll put a link to his video in the description. So now that we wire glitched to our switch, next thing to do is store the lights. It's not enough to just select them and put them back down. You have to actually store them. Next thing we do is, where is it? There we go. Is we're gonna reset these lights. What we're doing with this is we're making the lights recognize those conduits that are switched as their primary power supply. And let's go ahead and put that ceiling fan back in. There it is. Don't really care where it's at, just there we go. Okay. Now we hook our source power back up to the rest of the grid for the settlement. And we turn the master switch back on. And the very last step is to get rid of that wire that we glitched in. And that wire glitch will work anywhere in a settlement. You can go clear across a settlement with it. And voila! We have switched light switches, even though there's a power pylon right there, and around the back side there's another power pylon right next to that shack, and they're active all the time. So I can turn my lights on and off, but I can leave my turrets on all the time, or anything else on that I want to be on all the time. And say I said, you know what, I've got a light that's going to be in a prison cell or a bathroom or whatever. If I want to take that light back off the switch, and come on, there we go, store that, and place that back down with the switch in the off position, and there we go. That light is now going to be on all the time, no matter what position the switch is in. I'm going to do this one more time just to step through all the steps again. And we'll do it in this store here. So step 1, make sure the switch is on. Step 2, remove power to anything that's anywhere close to the lights that you want to work on. Make sure those lights are off. Remove the wire to the pylon, and there we go. Wire glitch over to your switch. Store the lights. Put the lights back down. Hook your switch back up to your main grid. Restore your original power to the switch. And very last thing, get rid of that ugly glitched wire. And now your switch will turn your lights on and off at will. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you did, I would say go take a look at my smarter power tutorial. I showed how to build a cool arena or defensive network or anything else that you want that you can switch through a bunch of different modes by smashing a single switch. And I put it into action in a settlement at Murkwater Part 1, where each of the guard stations has a switch that can turn off all the water purifiers in the settlement and turn on all the turrets in the settlement. If you like this kind of stuff, be sure to hit the like button. And if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. If you didn't like, please tell me why down in the comments so I can try and do better next time. Until next time, my name is Nacho Bidness, and I'm saying it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it.